You, my friend, were labeled a loser, least likely to succeed.
No one thought I would ever make it.
Billionaire Glenn Stearns is betting $1 million he can take $100 and grow it into $1 million business in just 90 days.
If it's a penny short of $1 million, I'll put $1 million into it. But to keep this experiment fair, I'm going to do it all undercover. I won't use my name, my money, or my connections. Win or lose in the city of Erie, and the people who help me get there will be rewarded. But they don't know it.
With $1 million of his own money on the line, Glenn Stearns will see once and for all if the dream is still possible in America. "32 days into his 90-day journey, billionaire Glenn Stearns is focused on opening a barbecue brew pub.
I want to name it Underdog Barbecue.
He believes he can turn into $1 million business.
Are you with me?
But to get it off the ground, Glenn needs $40,000 of startup money,
I'd like to make an offer on this house.
which all depends on flipping a house.
Let's get going. My goal is to buy, fix, and flip this house in 6 weeks.
But when the work began, a problem surfaced.
Mold? We need experts, and I don't know what that's going to cost. When we pulled up that carpet and found all the mold, my heart sank. I mean, mold can be a scary thing, and so we're going to go in, meet with the contractor. You know, hopefully he can get it all remediated. How you doing? I'm Glenn.
Glenn, I'm Derek.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. When we came over here and pulled up the carpet, I saw this right here, which really concerned me.
Yeah. Let's start downstairs. So I'd like to see the the back side of this.
Okay.
Yeah, this is pretty substantial. That's mold there. And all the joists are even starting to colonize there.
Right.
Any spores down here are most likely already gotten upstairs. Mold needs to be remediated no matter what kind it is, because long-term exposure to many different kinds can cause some serious health conditions.
So, yeah, I would like to get a quote on that.
Okay.
So, eyeballing it, do you think it'll be more than $3,000?
Absolutely.
Maybe $5,000?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the biggest setback I've had this entire journey. I was looking at kitchens, painting, flooring. I wasn't looking at mold. I don't know what in the hell I'm going to do. Whether it's black mold, yellow mold, or white mold, I need to treat it. The quicker we get started, the better. I bought this house at $45,000. I was hoping to spend $10,000 on repairs and sell it for $85,000 to $90,000, which would get me close to the $40,000 of startup money to launch the restaurant. This mold remediation is going to cost me another $5,000 out of my profit. On top of that, we're going to be shut down for 4 days while they treat the mold, which eats 4 days of my 15 days renovation period. I am so But if you're going to build the American dream, be prepared for setbacks. It's how you recover that counts. So I'm going to keep pushing forward on my business. While the mold is being taken care of, I need to get my foot in the door for what might make or break the launch of the restaurant, and that's RibFest. Since hearing about RibFest from Maggie at the SBDC, I've done some research and learned that this is the Super Bowl of barbecues here in Erie. National touring teams from all over the country come and attract more than 50,000 visitors each year with their award-winning barbecue. So taking first place at RibFest would give us the acclaim to market our products nationally. And that's going to be the difference between a barbecue restaurant and a $1 million barbecue restaurant. I'm going to meet with Kathy Danielson, who is in charge of RibFest, to make sure we get a spot. Is this the Kathy? How are you?
So nice to meet you. This is exciting. Yeah.
I've heard so much about you, you know? So I was like, I gotta meet. RibFest is coming up, you know?
Yeah. It can be raining, it can be a storm, it can be a threat of tornado. And people will still stand in line for the barbecue at the RibFest.
Yeah,
so.
You got the 50,000 people. My goodness.
Yeah.
So basically I'm starting a barbecue and brew house. Mm-hmm. Do you think there's any way I could join the barbecue fest?
Do you know the chemistry behind it? Because there is a chemistry. There is, you know, to be consistent, right?
I'm hoping by then, you know, I'll find a great barbecue master to really be the the face of barbecue, I guess.
So if you are set up and you're ready to be out there and telling people you're going to have a facility, a restaurant, I have a position for you at the Rib Fest.
I would appreciate
Yes.
that. So we'll be set up. We'll have my place. I'll have everything done.
We can use another barbecue here. One that somebody comes to. The other 361 days a year, 4 days, they're down at the Rib Fest.
That's right. They're going to take yours, as they should. I really enjoyed meeting Kathy, the barbecue or Rib Fest queen.
You want to go try some of their goodies?
We're walking in on shots, I see. She's very well connected, and the fact that she'd let us into her Rib Fest is exciting news. It just melted in my mouth. I think I need more, even though I'm full. I am 33 days into my 90-day timeline. To launch a business, not to mention to cover the $3,200 it takes to enter the Rib Fest, I'm going to need cash in hand for my house by day 63. I'd like to launch my restaurant on day 76, which is the start of Memorial Day weekend, and to be ready for Rib Fest, which is day 81. If I hit these benchmarks and win Rib Fest, I have a chance at $1 million valuation. But if I miss one deadline, they all collapse. So I need to sell this house. While I thought everything would be more of an aesthetic fix, I'm finding that we need some serious professionals in. We're going to have the mold company come in and go head to toe in that house and get it all fixed. I wasn't planning on ripping up the floor, but since discovering the mold, we've had to. Oh, this is your work clothes.
It's been a long day of work. The mold remediation is working. They should be done in a few days. The walls behind the paint that's bubbling are damp. So the faster we can scrape those off, that has to be done. I'm literally in the midst of the text message with the plan out to the team. I feel like I didn't get much of a response back from the team, like I can do this, maybe. I've always been very positive and very happy until the last 2 days, where reality kind of sets in and is like, we're all nuts for thinking that we can do this. So we have to kind of light a fire under the team's keister, but yeah.
While the flip house is still shut down for the mold, another area of the business I need to push forward is the beer side. The other barbecue restaurant in town doesn't serve beer. To separate Underdog from the competition while supporting the city of Erie, we need to serve local craft beers. Matt, my director of beer, and I want to get the local brewers involved by asking them if they will brew a house beer for us so that we can distribute it nationally. And second, we want to see if we can pour their craft beer in our restaurant. Our first stop is going to be Chris Sirianni at the brewery at Union Station.
Oh, fellas, what's
Speaking
going
of
on?
Chris, how's it going, man?
How you been, man?
Doing? Good. What's your name, Matt?
Matt, Chris Sirianni, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Chris is like the godfather of craft beer in Erie. So if I can get him on board, I think all the others around town will follow.
So what's going on?
So we've got a few ideas, a few things that we're thinking about that I wanted to run by you.
We like throwing stuff at the wall around here, so.
Yeah. I also wanted to show Matt some of your gear back there.
Sure.
It's pretty impressive.
You guys want to take a look?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Turn rivals into revenue. Chris Sirianni could see us as competition because we also want to sell craft beer. But always eliminate potential conflicts by striking deals that are mutually beneficial. How old are these tanks? They look brand new.
Actually, they're in good shape. They're about 13 years old. It's about how long we've been around.
So, started thinking, why not find a way to be collaborative instead of be a competitor? So we kind of switched gears and came up with a barbecue and brew place.
Okay.
But we don't want to brew. We want to highlight the local brewers as the kind of the infrastructure of the bar side. We'd love your help. Why don't we all carry the same name brand? This is kind of a national brand for brewers.
Yeah.
And you guys all own it. We own it together, if that makes sense. You know, and again, it's sorry, or and then being able to have this kind of co-op. And if we pour all of your beers, and we have one beer that we call our own, made by the local brewers, I can't stop talking. I mean, I'm rambling. I'm even getting confused by what the hell I'm pitching. I'll let you kind of take it from there, Matt.
What we'd like to do is come up with our own kind of middle of the road beer, like an amber ale or something like that we'd be able to sell everywhere. And then that way the name brand would of the beer itself would be able to travel.
So different beer, one name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they would say, I know that beer because all the craft guys are making the same recipe, you know, and I don't, you know.
As far as like rolling out a joint national craft brand, I'm really content growing within our own four walls. I don't have, you know, the desire, the wish to be a national brand, to dominate the state. And I think most guys in this industry are the same exact way.
So what's your opinion on having your beer be put into this place?
I'm like, all right, I'm hearing a lot of stuff going on. I'm hearing branding a beer, making a beer. I'm hearing beer and barbecue and being a co-op. So there's a lot of moving parts going on. Focus on one thing, whether it's a storefront with beer and barbecue,
right? Whatever
it is, I think you start there and kind of hone in. I think you definitely have to, you know, sit and talk this one through.
Okay. I'm stressing to everyone that this business is all about going local. But Union Station doesn't even want to brand a beer with us or even allow us to scale their beers nationally.
Right on.
But hey, thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Good to see you.
Appreciate it.
Good to meet you. Thank you.
I think it was pretty humbling to have the pushback that we did. My brain, when I walk into a pitch meeting, says I'm Glenn Stearns. And as Glenn Bryant, I don't have the same cachet. So how do you think that went?
I think he thought that we were all over the board.
Right.
And we needed to really consolidate and make our elevator pitch better.
I thought that we confused him with our message because it was too far down the road.
Where we want to be in 5 years, yeah.
Or
right.
maybe we should have started with step one. If we can get in and become a customer and show them that we want to promote their brand, we should build loyalty that way.
Yeah.
I have to regroup and streamline this pitch because without local brewers, this isn't going to work.
If we don't get Chris on board, it could really hurt us.
Chris is the linchpin to this whole thing. We struck out in our pitch to Union Station Brewery, but securing beer for our restaurant is just one side of the business. We still have to lock down a pitmaster who's going to run our kitchen and lead us to victory at the Ribfest competition. With 50,000 attendees, Ribfest is the best exposure we could ask for. I mean, this is Ribstock, Ribapalooza. As head of barbecue, RJ has lined up some meetings with some pitmaster candidates.
Glenn.
Hey.
Mike.
Nice to meet you.
I heard about Mike from the local barbecue group. What's up, sir? Good to see you. Cleet, he's a very well-known guy in the area. I've known him for a long time personally. I see him in the mornings at the gym. That's how, I kind of got to know him. This is Christine.
Hey, how are you?
She owned her own barbecue restaurant, where she's from in Titusville, about an hour or so outside of Erie.
How'd you get started?
I've been cooking for 10 years, and I've always loved to experiment.
Just doing smoking on the farm, and I had an opportunity to get a big smoker and get some restaurant equipment.
I got into barbecuing first by accident, really. I started watching shows, and like, whoa, I have one of those. I can do that.
Right.
My thing with barbecue is you don't want the rub to overpower the meat. You don't want the sauce to overpower the meat. The star of the show in barbecue has to be the meat.
From the minute I met him, I absolutely love Cleet.
They say work your way up in proteins, but I said, nah, I gotta go straight to the brisket. Spices, just like wines, the different environmental conditions changes.
I did have a barbecue restaurant. I did pastrami, brisket, chicken, turkey. I smoked desserts, cheesecakes, vegetables.
Really? Wow.
Cakes.
I'm between places. I have all my equipment still.
Christine has got it all. She has owned her own restaurant. Great candidate. Where have you been in that food chain of, chef, so to speak?
I have never cooked in a commercial kitchen in my life.
The only downfall with him is he doesn't have any kitchen experience as far as working in a restaurant.
I've been a head cook.
Have you ever done a traveling team or anything?
Even though I don't really do it professionally, I'm looking to add competition-style smoker.
Okay.
Mike's barbecue knowledge is there, and he's not afraid to try new things, which could help us stand out in the competition. Have you ever done any of those contests or any of those?
I never had time to do them. I was so all consumed with the restaurant. I never did any competitions or anything like that.
Wow. Christine has the most experience. All right, thanks
Awesome.
again.
All right.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
But it's going to come down to the taste test between Christine and Mike. Thanks again.
Absolutely.
Cleet doesn't seem to have the same level of experience, but his personality and passion for barbecue are assets that I know we don't want to throw away. We're not just trying to create a restaurant. You know, we want an experience.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yep.
he really represents that.
Yep.
Maybe he leads the front end of the house. If you spot talent, find a place for it on your team. If a spot doesn't exist, create one.
I'm excited with the outcome.
Well, good. What a good day.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So we have here an office space that I am hopeful will be something that will work for you.
Oh, this is perfect. Business development centers are a free resource in many cities around America. Yeah, this will work great. And Erie's SBDC has been so helpful to me. What a milestone, having our own office today where I can bring the team and we can start to fill the walls with our ideas and we can really focus. We don't have much time, and now we have a space that everybody can come to and we can collaborate together.
I'm glad that this will work for you.
Knock, knock.
Hey, since RJ owns a clothing line and has experience in branding, I asked him to give some thought on the logo design. They say when you want something done, give it to a busy person. So
Yes.
how's the logos and the design work going?
Good. We got a couple different options.
Branding is more than just a product. It's what the product means. It's about figuring out how you can connect with people and make it real, make it feel personal. I mean, when I think of the grill, it seems like that's kind of the cheesy, everybody
the
has barbecue
part.
grill.
But this is the one I like the most. Easy to read.
Wow.
Big and bold.
The Bulldog speaks to the brand. Absolutely love it.
Less is more when it comes to branding. You don't want anything that's too illustrative, and some of the other ones were more cartoonish. And then here's a couple variations of that.
I love it. I mean, the pride of Erie. Why don't we put them up here on the wall? I mean, let's start marking our territory, so to speak. What do you think?
I like it.
I can see people wearing the dog. In the dog house, the Bulldog, it's strong, it's stocky, it's resilient. It fits perfectly with what this town is about. It fits perfectly with what the whole team is. Look at Dawn. She's an underdog, right? I'm a single mom. You got RJ. He's had issues in the past that he's fought through. I think he did a wonderful job. And this guy is friendly, he's tough, he's smiling. He's a bulldog. RJ's found a restaurant that's closed today where we can host our tasting. And I've asked our marketing director, Chris Norris, to join us as well. There he is.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How we doing? How we doing? All right, how you doing, buddy?
This is Chris.
Chris,
Nice to
good to
meet
meet you. Cleet Collins. Good to meet
I
you.
had to find a way to keep Cleet in the mix. So RJ and I decided on a role for him that might be perfect. You know me. You know people. We'd love for you to become the front man of Underdog Barbecue at Ribfest. The front man at the Ribfest gets the crowd excited to taste the food, and he makes the people have this great experience. Since Cleet's an important face of the operation, I've asked him to sit in and help us evaluate the pitmasters.
We got Christine coming in.
Here she is. How you doing? Good to see you. Yeah.
Man, Christine, she bought bags of food, literally. She was nervous and excited at the same time.
I put this on about 11 o'clock last night, and I pulled it just as I was walking out the door.
There you go.
All right, what is this one?
This is the brisket.
The brisket.
This is Texas Twinkies.
It smells amazing.
It might be a little spicy. The bacon's good, too.
Are you telling me there's bits of bacon in the Baconator?
How good is that?
It's amazing.
I like feeding people, because when you cook good food, people smile. I like to see people smile, guys, you see?
There should have been a bark on that brisket. The same with the ribs. There should have been more of a mahogany color. Do I think she can do the job? I think so if she's willing to change.
I started the cheesecake yesterday about 3:30, smoking it.
Smoked cheesecake. Oh, that brings a smile to my face just saying it. This is like an urban legend to me.
Yeah.
So I'm like looking at Bigfoot right now. Thank you so much.
I can promise you that nobody in Erie is making smoked cheesecake.
Cheesecake's really good.
Is it good?
Probably the best I've had.
The showstopper.
Oh, I'll tell you what, this is awesome. I cannot lie to you any at all.
Thanks.
Even if I wanted to, I couldn't have been. This is
Thank you.
So, Christine, let's talk a little bit more about your restaurant and the experience you had there?
It sat 54 people. I was able to run the entire grill by myself with at least one waitress out front, most of the time too.
What happened? Because I think the landlord or something, from what I understood.
He raised the rent. I got behind. So I'm closed. If I get this job, I won't reopen.
I was very happy with Christine overall. Her story, some of her sides, everything she brings to the table. I was real pleased with her. And I think that with a little bit of help, that I think she can be top notch.
Thank you again. Yeah, this is awesome. I could see her running a kitchen. I could see her barking orders. There he is.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up?
Hey guys, how are you?
Nice to see you.
We do have a little bit of brisket, you know, dig in.
We got to see Michael. He's kind of like the barbecue nerd.
This is a variation on my signature sauce. I did it a little bit different today just because, you know, something special for you guys. So,
like, he kind of just sits by his smoker at home in his free time and does research and experiments and this and that, and he knows his stuff.
I sear it a little bit, so just to kind of lock in the moisture. And then a little bit of mesquite, but not too much because I didn't want anything too heavy.
I think you have some ribs. Is that right?
No, I didn't bring any ribs.
Okay, I thought you did. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe
No
maybe I
ribs.
missed that. It was here and here. Thank you for taking this time.
Thanks, Mike.
Mike's brisket was phenomenal. It pulled apart perfectly. You could pick it up. It was very good.
What'd you guys think?
I could have thrown those on a bun and just like bathed myself in it. Those were good, man. I'm telling you.
He showed us the one dish that he really knows how to make. And so it scares me that he's not confident enough or prepared enough that he would bring any other dishes. We enjoyed the fact that Christine brought all her food. She's got a depth of knowledge by running a kitchen, but I don't think you were as impressed with the food.
The food, yeah.
Which is obviously very important.
I didn't think any of the meats were like mind-blowing for me, but I thought some of her items were very unique.
What do you think, RJ?
Food-wise, I agree with him. I see the potential because there's always room to improve.
Yeah.
Between Christine and Mike, we're favoring Christine because she has a broader set of skills, but there was room for improvement in her food. So as long as she's open to constructive criticism, then I think we found our pitmaster.
Everybody can make adjustments on things.
Right.
So I think we can help her with that adjustment.
Right now, I feel really relieved. I hope that Glenn is happy with where we're at. It's taken a lot of time, a lot of work. Pleasure as always.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
As far as I'm concerned, RJ hit it out of the park. We made a gigantic leap forward. This beer could end up being the very first drop in a very large ocean of beer. You got it? Yep. A few weeks ago, Matt and I were learning how to make our own beer. We've got all the equipment. We went and got all the wheat and yeast, and now we've got real beer. You know, the next step is to bottle the beer, right? And try it. Matt came over and brought some of his bottling equipment.
The way that this works is that this little guy here, so we'll get the liquid in there, and this goes in so that way we're filling from the bottom up. So when we push, there's a little spring in there, and we push that up. So you can run the siphon or you can run the bottle, which you want to do. All right, just go ahead and pull it.
It's a little more brown than I would have thought.
So we don't want to get air in there. We probably want to try and cap that as quick as we can.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll lay out some paper towels and put the bottle caps on top of it.
Yeah.
Take one of those caps and put it on top of the bottle, yep. And then set it down on top. Yep, clap, and then just press it down. There you go. Just like that. Great job.
The first bottle of Undergrog.
Nice.
So we were able to bottle our beer and also taste it. Hey.
Cheers.
Hey, man. It's hard work. That's horrible. What the hell? Sorry. It's like a cat in my mouth. I don't think that cat is probably scalable. There might be a bunch of ladies with 1,000 cats that are going to love this beer. What did we do wrong? There's a little hole in the market. This beer tastes like cat. Well, this mold really set us back, you know. It's been remediated so we can get back to work.
Got my gloves, I'm ready to work.
Hey, man. What's up, man? How you doing? Good to see you. I need 40 grand to launch the restaurant. After getting the mold bill, I see that I need to push these bills down the line. I have 30 days to pay this bill, and I'm going to take every day of it.
So this room is probably going to need the most work because kitchens are a process. We're going to take down the rest of this lath board and leave the ceilings exposed. If you want to get the dishwasher out, that would be stupendous as well.
Here we go.
Glenn had a $10,000 budget thinking it was all going to be cosmetic. And yeah, it could have been done if it was all cosmetic. I could have made it happen on a $10,000 budget. I feel really overwhelmed because it's a very short time frame, but it'll come together. It will. We're not the underdog team for nothing.
We've got a great team behind me. Without them, I'd be dead in the water. But with little manpower, I still have to finish the demo and paint the walls, replace the floors, and put the kitchen back together, all within 9 days to get this sold in time. Otherwise, I might as well pack it all up and go back home. Not only am I eating up money on the flip house, I also just paid rent, and that pickup truck is sucking gas like you wouldn't believe. I can't help but feel that any money I have is flying out the door. And even though the house isn't done yet, I have to get moving on my next big project, finding a commercial space for the restaurant. I have to open the doors in the next 5 weeks. I can't remotely afford it, but I have to figure out a way to make this work. I'm going to call this commercial real estate agent and see about a possible space. Hey, Pat, this is Glenn. I'm just inquiring about your space on State Street and 12th. We were thinking about putting a restaurant in there.
Are you going to be serving beer, too?
Yeah, so eventually beer. Didn't know if you might have some ideas.
I have 3 spaces downtown that I have for lease. The one that you called about, but I think you might just be limited size-wise. You'd probably prefer to have something that would be more turnkey.
Well, I would. I look at some of these like Jekyll and Hydes and I go, wow, what a perfect location. You know, like, you know, yeah. Obviously you got ones in the tap room and things that have got these corners.
Jekyll and Hyde would sell for the right price.
You think so?
Yeah, he would. I've talked to the owner many times about that.
That's great. Could you set up a meeting for us to talk?
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. All right, hey, it was real nice. Yeah, nice talking to you.
Nice talking with you.
All right, take care.
We'll get together.
Thank you. Bye-bye. If I could figure out a way to get in a lease, and then if I could do a longer term deal where I'd buy it, I'd love to buy the building. You know, so that'd be wonderful. Now I just gotta sell that house. Well, we're headed over to the SBDC. I'm gonna meet Matt Sanders. We pitched Chris Sirianni the other day from Union Station, and it didn't go very well. Actually, it went terrible. With my companies, I'm used to thinking up big ideas and having my team put it all together. But everyone here thinks that I'm just a guy from Baltimore who wants to start a business. They have no idea that I've been down this road before and that I see a bigger picture. We need to streamline this pitch. My idea of the elevator pitch, since I spent last night thinking about it, was we want to celebrate Erie and focus on being hyper-local. And that means we'd like to take your beer and pour it in our restaurant.
Yeah, I think it's that simple.
If you're interested, then we want to be able to buy a keg off of you. And if it's popular, we'll buy more kegs off of you.
Right.
The only other added part of the pitch I think we ought to do is we would like you to help work on a beer that we are going to call our own, right? A beer that you brew, that we'll buy, and we're going to label it, and we want to buy that from you. So we've streamlined our pitch down to 2 basic things. 1, we want to be able to pour their beer at Underdog Barbecue. And 2, we want them to brew us a house beer that we can call our own and sell in the barbecue restaurant.
So now we're laser focused.
And we're going to know in 5 minutes.
We're going to know in 5 seconds.
Right. What's really important is to focus, okay? Less is more. Cut out any information that's irrelevant. Be clear with what you want and stick to the essentials. So I'm headed to the Jekyll and Hyde building to meet the owner and also to meet Pat, the realtor. So what I'm hoping to do is sit down and negotiate a lease number that we can both agree on. And I know the market is around $4,500 to lease, so I'm hoping I can strike a deal with him. And I can, get my business open in the next few weeks. Hey, guys.
Glenn.
How's it going?
Hey, Glenn.
Jason, nice to meet you.
You guys want to sit?
Or something?
Yeah.
What I see and what I love about your place here is obviously one of the busiest corners in all of Erie. And the back half is a restaurant. And that's what I'm really focused on, right? Is building out a barbecue restaurant, and that can have a different look and feel.
Right.
So what do you think you're going to land at to allow us to come in here and lease the place?
The benefit of this place, the minute you take it over, you start putting money back in the bank. There's other places you have to build. To me, I'd be somewhere like around $6,000 a month.
$6,000 a month.
Yeah. I'm in that position, okay?
Right.
I can keep the place, and I'm good.
Let's say we landed at 4.
Am I still here?
No.
I'm sorry. For me, you're coming to me. The place was not listed for sale.
What is your thought on $4,500?
I'd like to stay at 6.
Wow. That's too high. What is your thought on $4,500?
I'd like to stay at 6.
Wow. What happens if this deal falls apart? I'm probably screwed, to be honest with you. The other thing that's important to me is an ability to have an option to buy. Because, again, I don't want to just get into something and then all of a sudden the lease goes up, or you sell the building and then somebody else decides they don't want a bar in here or they don't want a restaurant in here. That could be problematic for me as well.
I'm open to that.
Okay.
I'm open to it.
So we could escalate this to get to your number and start at a lower number where Glenn can make it feasible in year 1, year 2, and then maybe 3 to 5 is closer to where Jason needs to be.
Or cut it down the middle and meet in the middle. I was at 4, you're at 6. Just meet in the middle the whole way down. What I've always found is, when you do a deal, both sides have to feel a little pain.
I'd be open to that.
All right, so that sounds good. A $5,000 a month lease is where we will land. Meeting him down the middle feels a little more than I want it to go, but at the same time, I think it's probably a little less than he wanted. Okay, all right.
Put it in writing, see what happens.
Yeah, all right, thanks. Appreciate it. Now that this agreement has been made, we need to finish and sell the flip house, because until that happens, I won't have the money to pay the lease. Next, we're headed to go meet our new pitmaster, Christine. Christine really impressed me. So RJ and I need to make sure that she's on board with our vision. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, good. We didn't think hers was the right style of barbecue. So our next step with Christine is to sit down and say, we'd like to see a little more char on this. We'd like to see it fall off the bone. And different things like that I hope she can step up and do. If she's going to take offense to that, then we've got a problem. There is RJ.
Knock, knock.
So where did you go, RJ?
Up the street. I brought the food in because I wanted her to see firsthand what others people's looked like.
So this barbecue is from our #1 competitor, and we want to make sure our barbecue is as good or better. What do we got?
Ribs, brisket, right? She needs to be very knowledgeable of look, taste, and what people can get right up the road from us.
Is there anything Sunday that you tried that you thought I should improve upon?
Well, what I would say, that feeling of less tug.
And more fall apart, okay.
Yeah, and only because I believe everybody I've ever heard, when I hear them, they go, oh my God, it falls off the bone. And now, that's the center,
It falls off the bone. I can make it fall off the bone.
I felt a little nervous about critiquing her barbecue, and I didn't know what kind of pushback I'd get. Look at how it has that char on the outside, but it's so tender on the inside.
Yeah, it's called a crust. Yep. All right.
How are they doing it?
You're going to get that with spices.
Gotcha.
And maybe a little bit of higher temp.
The main part of it? I mean, if we're going to make all the money off the ribs.
Mine has to look like that. And
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's not criticism. Like, give me that.
She listened and she said, okay, I can change and I can correct and I can make a barbecue that looks like our competitions. Are you willing to help us develop that menu?
Absolutely.
Very impressed with you, impressed with, where you came from, your story, and we want you to be a part of the team. And I'd love to have you really represent us.
I would love to help you make this dream come true.
Well, thank you.
Oh, I wanted to cry. I wanted to cry when he said it.
I'll give me a hug. Very excited. Yep.
It's a huge experience for me, and it's life-changing.
Hey, I'm very excited.
I am too.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It is
an adventure.
So. I can't wait.
Our first pitch with Chris Sirianni was a bust, but in business, you never give up. We really need to serve his beer in our restaurant, so we're heading back to give him the reworked pitch.
Fellas, what's going on?
Hey,
how are you?
How you doing, Chris? Good seeing you. Hey,
what's going on? Chris, good to see you again. How are you, fellas?
How you been? The word no is only the start of a conversation. All successful businesses have been told the word no more than they've heard the word yes. Someone once said no to me on a very crucial deal, but instead of taking the no, I took a red eye, flew all night across the country, got in front of them, and turned that no into a yes. We wanted to pick up on the conversation that we had with you the other day, which I think we felt a little overwhelming. We just threw a 5-year plan at you in 15 seconds, and I know I came in hot, thinking this would be fun and this will be, really easy. It's not that way, obviously. And so I've personally ate a little crow and realized how much I respect and appreciate what you guys do.
Oh, thanks.
So we want to go and still have a relationship with the local brewers.
Sure.
We would be honored to be able to pour your beer because we want the reciprocation, right? We want to be able to have you come in and go, they've got great barbecue. And hopefully we do, because that's the whole idea, right?
Is better.
Really,
it's going to be a short-lived dream, buddy.
Exactly. Right. How do you feel about us selling your beer in our restaurant? Us selling your beer in our restaurant.
I'd love to. We love great partners.
We'd appreciate that.
I want to go out and support the guys that are supporting us, so we'd love to have our product.
That's the idea. Then on our second thought and request would be to come up with a beer that you could make that would be a beer that's our house beer, something that we could just call our own for our opening and serve it just at the Underdog Barbecue restaurant. Is that something that appeals to you? Would you be interested in making that beer for us?
Sure, yeah.
I appreciate it.
Do you have any ideas for us on that? Yeah, so as far as product, I think, a blonde ale, we make a great blonde. We can take that beer and either tweak it or do something fun that would be perfect for, barbecue. It's accepted by, a lot of locals. I think it'd, be a great beer to launch with.
Okay, well, good. I like that idea. Thanks. It's going to have to be brewed by Chris, and it's going to have Chris's name on it as well. And that's okay. I don't mind that. I think we're going to both be able to get a nice beer and everybody will win. One last question, Chris. Yep. How nuts do you think that I am on this?
I don't know.
I've scored some wins for Underdog Barbecue, but our new business can't open and become successful unless I sell this house. So I need to check on the house to make sure that Dawn has whipped this thing into selling shape. Holy what the... So I walked in and saw this. This house is not anywhere near ready to be flipped. It is so far from being done. I am just beside myself. I thought it'd be a lot farther along by now. Everything relies on this house being able to be flipped. If I don't flip the house, I don't have a restaurant. And if I don't have a restaurant, I have failed completely. So, I have to get this done very quickly or the whole dream is gone.
Hi.
Holy cow.
I do have a little timeline concernage.
When do you think we can be finished with the house?
I would like to be finished yesterday.
Okay. And if not yesterday, when do you think we'd be finished?
Definitely not tomorrow. Okay. I'm hoping to meet the deadline, but some of the team has been here to help, but it's only been for a few hours at a time. And I'm trying to squeeze in my jobs. I don't understand what the rush is, because rushing something is pretty much setting yourself up for failure.
You know, I've pushed Matt towards the beer, right? Mm-hmm. He's running towards that. I pushed RJ towards the barbecue and the Rib Fest, which is a huge undertaking.
He was telling me about it the other day.
In itself. And then I've been working on our location.
Right.
And then
I totally understand.
So,
I don't need the team.
No, but I can get this is important to have us meet the deadline so that we can sell it, because we have to turn around and flip it. We need to fix it and move on.
Even though part of me was like, walk away now. He asked for my help, and I committed to it, and I made a commitment, and I'm going to see it through.
I will make sure we have enough people here that we get it done.
All right.
Because we have to.
Okay.
I mean, it's that important, and I'm going to make sure I get the rest of the team here, and we'll figure it out.
All right.
I feel bad. You know, I watched Dawn. She's almost crying because the weight of this house is on her. Right? And we'll figure it out. I care a lot, and I've surrounded myself with great people my whole life. Thank you so much for all the hard work you're doing. You know, I mean, really, it's been just crazy. I want it to turn out really good for people. I want people to be proud. But I don't like that. I'm not really, I'm kind of making people stressed, and that's not what I want to do, you know.
All right,
cool. After you. But while I'm pushing my team hard, I know they will be rewarded in the end if they just stick with it. I'm officially at the halfway point, and I'm nowhere near where I thought I'd be. You need anything green? I'm going to look like a complete idiot in front of all of America. The most ironic part of this whole experience is that I'm really good at real estate. And now here I sit with this flip house, this money pit, and I can't figure it out. And it feels like all I'm doing is letting down my team. I believe the American dream is still alive. In fact, I'll bet $1 million on it.
You, my friend.